I wanted to talk about the Neptune aspect, and the possible gaslighting. Well, if we consider our minds, then it's a gaslight, because that is our meta. That is our original meta, right? Meta. Um, in the word mental, we can pick out easily the word meta. It's there. And the English language, well, particularly that spelling, let alone the symbols that we are using, those aren't letters, they are symbols, will, it's timeless. It will blow your mind if you really tap into what that interfacing system is capable of doing for our brains as far as the measure of time and stuff, if there is any at all, which there isn't. That interfacing system will let you know, remind you. And yeah, well, anyway, gosh, I didn't want to get off into that stem, but why not? It's the here I am. Here, let me get closer. You recognize me. Um, anyway, boy, what happened? Okay, so now talking about meta, our minds. Okay, this is what can easily, right? When I close my eyes at night, I am looking at, I have access to all the colors, even more than I can ever pick out around here. Neon. And I notice, and this is what makes our dreams. When we dream, it's like so vivid. The fact of our mind, our brain, the function, it's 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 perfect. It can remember everything. Now there's perfection happening, so that's how that your mind can call up the image of things like your mother or something like that, or anything at all, even beyond the scope of what you can imagine, because you don't imagine anything. Most people don't, right? But that's what how we're supposed to use our mind. It's not to be just clogged with what we call beliefs, and we think that getting back into this, like, we can create this structure that's like, by the way, it's not here. Reality is what? Now, we've got that space in between my nose and the hand here. Nobody ever considers that place. I call it outer space. It's the final frontier, by the way. You can make an imaginary line and stretch it just like across and it just keeps going until the end of the universe, and that space, there's only one of those. Behind all, yes, there's only one reality behind all realities. There's only one sky. You can say that, kids. Recess! Run! Run away! So anyway, getting away from the mind, getting into the mind, really, that's how we get out of it. You need to know it's meta, right? Meta. Well, what does that mean? Well, there's METAphOR. METAphOR. I would like to look up, okay, all I know is take the pH out of it. pH, what does that mean? That's pH, your balance. What does that mean? Look it up, comment section down below. I know what OR means. OR means alternative. But with the pH, that tells me that's like, now we're getting into chemistry. Do you want to know something real? Right? When we talk about pH, a lot of times it's pH balance, or what else? Like physical. Thank you, God. Physical. So when we say METAphOR, it says, well, you have your mind here, but would you like to go to the physical? There's a METAphOR. that, okay, so it's for your mind. That alternative of the physical, you have to take the spelling backwards. It's a trip about reversing. There isn't any reverse in nature or anywhere. We don't see that. I mean, just because you're going backwards doesn't mean you're going backwards. Things are moving forward in your evolution, in your progress, even especially if you're walking backwards. God, imagine the people that choose to walk backwards all of their life. They're not going reverse, but they might be developing a superhuman skill because they chose to do something different. Come on, kids. Where did you go? It's really quiet, so something good must be happening. Anyway, getting back to your metaphor, you have your mind. We just went straight to mind. Meta. Fuck your four. We don't want you to know the physical nature of reality, which is now what is trippy is the metaphor. When you're talking that word, sorry, I'm kind of going on my tangent, but you'll like it. Whoever's a Gemini, whenever you're going on that tangent about metaphor, babes. So they're talking about, well, do you want the mind or do you want physical reality? What it's really saying is saying we're going to synthesize into your mind the nature of reality because that's all you can do. I mean, it's wonderful. We don't have to put on our goggles if you're really good at your mind. See, what's going to happen is that all of our bodies deteriorate, right? We eventually we can't we think we can't do things. See, I'm moving into babes. I'm moving into well, a different thing. I don't want to get into it. So, but gosh, I lost the subject matter. I'm sorry. But maybe it has everything to do with everything for sure. The field of Neptune, the holographic field that Neptune is. Okay, so we have a suggestion going on, and I was trying to tell you about that. It's a suggestion, okay? What happened was, okay, they're talking about, okay, Neptunian stuff. I mean, I don't doubt that it happened, babes. It's terrible. Think about that. That's horrible. What happened with the submarine. But, the submarine, that has happened all the time. We know about how that massive amounts of people have been in submarines, and they have imploded. Um, the wars have submarines. That's where originally these things have developed. You don't have a submarine just for fun. It's for wars. And a lot of people have died in wars, by the way. And a lot of people die every day, by the way. So, but they announced about, okay, the oceanic disaster. Mainly, it's we need to know. We didn't know this was happening, did we? Or did we not know it was happening? But it is. And I don't doubt that it is. It's so strange, and I just figure, okay, the media is reporting on things and letting us know things that we should just check off the list as, well, let's never get involved with that ever again. What else? You got something to say? Whatever the media is letting us know, especially on a profuse level, whatever it is, check that off. Just get it out of your mind because it's out of sight. It doesn't matter to you. Forget it, and it's not even real. Really, really, really. Because why do I say that? Because you shouldn't be doing that. Who in the okay, so very few people as far as the numbers on the planet, and let's talk about how we die. Die on a roller coaster, right? A roller coaster ride, but they do. And imagine that, kids. Who doesn't want to die like that? That must be the most choice way to die, is especially if you paid a lot of money to get on the roller coaster ride, and it's in the peak of the moment, like you think you're really gonna fucking be fulfilled, and you're doing a flip over, and then you fall to your death. Amazing. Most people have the worst fucking time when they die, right? It's like a slow plunge, and then they have to really. Nobody's going like that before they die. Anyway, God, you get my point. It's far and few between. We're having such a great time before they croak. Getting back to the people in the submarine, paying a lot of money to take that ride. Good for them. Great, amazing. Now we got a movie that's going to come out that says we know everything that happened there, right, Meta? Why did they announce it? Okay, so they announced it. Sure, okay, God. Did they wait for the loved ones? Like how? When did it happen? And you really want to find out. Like, okay, so why did they announce it? If it really did happen or not, who cares? But see, okay, so if the concept, okay, check that off the list. Don't do that, kids. They're showing everything we shouldn't do on the news. By the way, look at that for do 16 minutes. Even though for your mind, your meta, you should only allow 16 seconds of thinking way over there, like what could happen negatively or even positively. Really, you want to meditate on your focus on what you really want, and then let it go, let it go, let it go, and everything like that. You need to continue to use your mind that way because it's not reality. It's not here now. There is something called focus that I would like to bring into the conversation for the people who really love to talk about the mind. They talk about the mind. They say, well, thoughts are things, and whatever you think becomes your reality. And it's like, no, 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 no. Whatever you focus on will become your reality. And that's not thinking, because if you focus on thinking, you're never going to get into the field of reality is right here, just beyond your nose is now. And there's no difference between those two words, kids. The K is silent. Now, any kid would ask you, but so then why did it turn to no when there's a K? It should be that if you take the W away, that now we have the word no. Because the K is silent. Okay? We are dealing with faux pas concerning our tongue and language, babe. Somebody said a word out there. I'm still traumatized. It was 15 years ago. And he said a word. And I was like, he did it twice. And these people are multimillionaires. And by the way, I don't, it's hard to get along with those people because they don't have a fucking brain in their heads. It doesn't seem like they are fucking programmed to ruin, let alone they're going to ruin like a simple conversation by saying words wrong. And I don't know, the way they said it is like, that is evil. That is not the right way to say that word because it's a gaslight. It's a gaslight. You just took the whole thing that it points at. See, it's a metaphor. It's all metaphorical. Potable. The word potable, by the way. Potable? Potable water? I heard somebody call it potable. No. No. There's a term you use when the water is okay. It's not necessarily drinkable right there on the spot, but you can put it in a pot. It's potable, okay, and that's how you spell it, Potable. Well, I heard some people are saying potable. What the fuck is a pot? I'm sorry, I know it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you can shut your fucking mouth and you can say kabloop to blop, but you know what you're pointing at. It's a pot. It's a U. All right. If you really want to get into what we're looking at, it's a cup, a cup, a cup, and then a cup um, has everything to do with the shape of a U. You pour things in, so that's not difficult. Now we're getting back into like, what's here? Because potable. I mean, a pot. I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay. We were doing good. I thought with language though. I thought we were onto something. You get my point though. I mean, other words are being fucking shot up that way, and talk about gaslighting, babe. Who cares? Like we get back to just what's here. What do we have to deal with? Do I have to really deal with a roller coaster ride? Like, say, when the threat of a roller coaster ride, like a few people die on this, but other than that, you can have a great time. And it's like, well, that's all speculative. Some people's great time is actually when the wind blows, because they've sat still long enough that now when the wind blows, it's like, woo! Ow! Yay! Each and every hair is like tickling them. They're like, wee! Anyway, to each their own, and that's not nobody's business but theirs. And if you can conduct a business like that, where, wow, imagine that somebody would give me $250,000 to get them to that point of feeling ecstasy just when the wind blows. That's going to take, like I said, maybe 15 years. Who knows how fucking callous these people are? They need to be isolated in a tank. It's certain torture, but that's what therapy is. Anyway, getting back to who wants it? People who pay $250,000, and really set that aside. They're miserable. They're fucking miserable people. And it might work a little bit for them that when they get a little therapy, they see a change, and if they like that change, like that difference, if they're miserable enough and they want that change, they're going to go back and get some more therapy. And the therapist is more likely just a shaman, an alchemist. Somehow they're really talented in dialing in on your whole algorithmic plate. No, maybe. In the West, good luck, babes. They want you comfortably numb. Boy, this conversation, I love this time of day. It's getting up. Well, it's 6 o'clock now, and I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm doing something. Hi, Shauna. Is that you over there? Oh my God, how cool! What's happened with you? I'll be right there. You know me, right? Jesus the Christ. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a look-alike. How do I get out of here? Anyway, I was talking about, wow, what a quinky dinky that is, so the ocean, you don't fuck with the ocean during a Neptune transit like that. And then now we have this, now I was talking about the gaslighting scene. Mercury opposes Neptune. We figured it out. It was on Monday. What a great time to release some news about something that you think you found out concerning way over there near the Antarctic, under the ocean. Meta, by the way, hello, is like it's getting everybody's mind lighting up with this shit. So I was at the dermatologist. Must have happened on that day, which was the night. When was that? It was the 19th or something like that of June. Um, Let me turn the light on for us. No, it's not Motel 6 yet, or 8. I was at the dermatologist and just hearing these. Okay, there was 3 workers in his office there. I guess they're secretaries, and they hire these other people. And by the way, they're different people. See, the doctors have one education. They're from a different planet or something, and then the people that do the computers and work the money and take the appointments and all stuff in the front office, they are from a different planet. They do something else. And of course, these are women, and I'm telling you, they're from a different planet. The way that they were communicating, okay, so they were talking about, okay, they got the installation of the latest news, and I didn't know anything about it, but I'm hearing them talk, and it first comes out as a joke. She says, well, what if I, it was the stupidest thing. I can't even believe I'm repeating this. I'm not going to repeat it. I want to go general. Well, anyway, I'm hearing them talking about something about under the ocean and going under the ocean. Well, at first it was like they were talking about. I heard they were talking about the serious incident of it that they're stuck under there right now. And she said, one of the girls said, and they don't have any GPS. And I'm thinking, what submarine doesn't have a GPS? So maybe she was being serious, seriously, like they don't have a beat. She was giving me a clue, or everybody a clue there, maybe. So obviously, I didn't know. I thought she was having a serious conversation, but really seriously, they didn't have a GPS, or they couldn't find it. How dangerous! That's not true. Scratch that thing. So I kept listening to what they were saying, and then it went off into this woman talked about. Maybe they were really onto that's a fake. Maybe they were. because they just went up to, she said, you know what? If a nuclear blast happens, I am going to run to the ocean. And they were serious about it. If I ran to the ocean, they asked the dermatologist who they were working for, who is making so much more money than he is, right? He's a scholar. He got a skill of, he's going to, take care of some people he has to dial in, and they're two different intelligences, and then they kind of dragged me on that. And, I don't know, God, I'm dragging you in on it now. Talk about meta. But what did you get out of it, really? I mean, what did it light up? I hope that it brought you, see, I couldn't believe it brought me to where it brought me now, which is saying, well, maybe these women were so fucking hip. And these are all women, by the way. Multitasking like this, just answering the phone and do all this. And now they're talking about, oh, by the way, the media, of which, what was the joke? They didn't have a GPS system. That's why we can't locate them now at any time, or what happened. Well, I get another story, right? That we already heard, we know now that it imploded at 3,500 feet. The truth is, nobody knows. But when you fucking get this information, and I don't doubt that it's happening. I'm not saying, oh, Earth doesn't exist. Nobody's doing anything out there, and we're not transmitting this and radiating this information. No, you could say I believe something like that might have happened. But I don't live in meta, in my mind mainly. I have a cat over here who is cleaning her self, and that's what's happening for me today. I do have a tragic story or situation I can let you in on.